Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Abigail, and this is Abigail Marie Arts, and today I am continuing with my series of the months as fantasy-inspired characters. So this series kind of came about when those like TikTok things were popular, where like, I think they still are. I mean, I see them still. Maybe I'm not up to date, but where you swipe through the pictures and you see different things as different months. So there's like, oh, your bedroom for your birth month, your princess for your birth month, whatever. And so this is your fantasy inspired character for your birth month. So they're not, I say fantasy because they're in these beautiful dresses and things, as if they're like fantasy princesses-esque. They're not really, they're based on like just vibes only of the month. So as you can see, I had started sketching and I hated it, and you get to see the genuine sketching here, because last ones I liked my initial kind of thumbnail-y sketches way better than I liked me trying to resketch it on camera. I hated it. The other ones, they were garbage. They just weren't turning out. But this time you got to see the little like brainstorm sketch before. But then because I have been loving how they turned out, I do take a picture of it and pull it into Procreate on my iPad later and still like refine it there. I've been really enjoying that. It's helped me like my art a lot better. I'll just leave it at that. But so I kind of, for the posing, have been looking for something that's not, I don't want it to be too much and stuff, because the focus isn't on the posing, the focus is on the outfits, like the hair, the makeup, the dress. It's not about like what they're doing. So that's why you don't really necessarily see me pushing a lot of boundaries when it comes to the posing for this series. And not gonna lie, it's something I do need to work on, like drawing people in different positions and yada yada. But like for videos and stuff, half the time I'm like designing outfits and stuff, so I just doing a weird dramatic pose isn't necessarily, that's not very suitable then to like what I'm trying to do anyway. And I put the line there because her legs were like looking a little short, so that was just to remind future me to make her longer, because she's not tall enough. Her legs were too short. I did not like that. So now that the posing is done and she has a face, here is where I actually start figuring out what I want. And there is a ton of time cut out between these clips because I was like just sitting around forever not knowing what I wanted. So I was thinking, when I think March, maybe because of St. Patrick's Day, I do think green. And then I was thinking green, and then I was thinking almost a bit of like Y2K, like fairy outfits. Like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but they're just kind of very, I was just thinking very fairy-like, very like ethereal, like layering and sparkly, and like I like the little like loop around the neck as like a strap, but I did give her sleeves because I don't want everything she's got hanging off of one loop around her neck. So then I kind of had this look, the like kind of way I wanted the dress to look done, and then it was the hair. And at first I thought maybe these cutesy little buns, but then I was like, no, they weren't. It was like too much, while also it just wasn't giving. It was making it more childish, a little bit more rave, and a little less like, I'm going for a little bit more, I don't want to say classy, it's not the word. I don't know. Think red carpet, less rave, you know? Something more like put together, you know, less messy. I don't know, because you know how like rave kind of has that nitty gritty like whatever, and yeah, so I erased that off. I hated it, wasn't liking it, and then I just thought, why not some beautiful natural hair? So I don't know, I'm not very good at hair textures, but like obviously, like, it's not quite an afro, but it's like, you know, when the hair is just that big, beautiful bunches of curls. I love it. And I was like, you know what? That was the perfect, like, slightly understated look to go with the, like, fairiness of it. Like, isn't that not just so, like, you would see this woman sitting in a meadow, you know? Anyway, because March is one of those things. Now, where I live, March is actually still really fucking cold. Like, you can have your beautiful days here or there, but, like, ultimately, you do have to be prepared for some chill. But with, like, daylight savings time and stuff, it's just, like, you get, like, fool's spring a little bit, and then you also, like, the sun is out, and, like, some days the breeze will blow perfectly, and it's like, oh, spring is here. So now this is the point where I pull it into Procreate, and I wanted to make sure there was some detailing on those little, like, folds of the dress, because they're kind of like petals, but they were just too boring. I needed something more intricate. So, but anyway, here I am now. And what I love about being able to pull it into Procreate is I get to flip the canvas a whole bunch and stuff, and then, like, make sure things are looking symmetrical, and I kind of go back and forth on things, and I can just really make everything look exactly how I want it to look. And that makes me very happy, because one of the things I'm most self-conscious about when it comes to, like, these videos for YouTube is I feel like I cannot sketch or, like, line art very well on camera. They never look the way that I want them to look. So this is, I know it's not a very long video, then, like, this little clip of me, but then you get to see me, like, kind of half ink it in a way that doesn't make me want to die. Like, I can show you the process without the camera looking over my shoulder. It's fantastic. It's the best of both worlds. So as you can see now, because I was not about to draw the detail on every single one of those little petals 3 times, I decided to only do it twice. Once here, well, and then I got to kind of copy and paste it, and then the other one when I inked. So I did ink from the comfort of my couch and stuff, and I used an a light box to put the printed out sketch behind it and this expressive blending card over it, and then I just went ahead and, instead of, like, penciling it in and then inking, I just sit on the couch, not doing it for a video. I just went ahead and straight up inked it, just straight up on the light box. It was great. And then it's kind of fun because I also have this piece of paper. Now, it is just a piece of computer paper, so the coloring is, like, not exactly perfect, but then I have this to kind of, like, test colors out. It's great. And that is Phoebe. You saw her a bit in the beginning. She sits on my desk with me a lot. I'm always cleaning off cat hair off of this desk and my artwork because she's always there. If I'm in here at my desk, she is here on my desk as well. So, yes. And if you're wondering, yes, she's sitting at my feet right now. So, I can't get rid of her. And so now back to the drawing. I am officially now coloring. And the skin tone I wanted, I have a lot of Copics, but I don't have all of them. And I did not have the perfect shade I was looking for, but I did find that if I layered a couple, then I got it, and it was great. And it's like a dark suntan, and then like a milk chocolate, I think, are the colors that I layered. But anyway, I love them. And like the hair color, I do go a little like reddish. I really like that. I don't know, maybe I was thinking a little too much about like St. Patrick's Day, you know, with the green and then red hair, you know, like the Irish and leprechauns and whatever. But it's okay. She's beautiful. It's a natural looking like reddish brown is what I pick. So, and I had drawn the other hand in the ones in the sketch for nothing, because I didn't even end up including it. But I thought it looked silly if both of her hands were like in front of this fabric. And so I was like, I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna change the pose just to expose both hands. But can we talk about hands for a second? Off topic. I've been thinking about this. I hate AI art with a passion, okay? If you're an artist, you just kind of get it. You just kind of know. I don't like it, but the thing that is so scary is like, oh, you can tell because it can't do hands. Well, you know what? I can't do hands either, but I promise you my shit's not AI. We can't go off of the hands alone, because what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get accused of posting AI art because my hands are garbage. But I promise you, it's not AI. Anyway, that's just my little bit. But here I am with that beautiful reddish brown. I think it's called copper, if I am remembering correctly. It actually, on camera now, it looks a lot browner than red. For me, it looked a little more red, but anyway, it's a natural, beautiful color. I loved it, and I took my sweet ass time coloring this in because I was like, I want it to be good. And so this is in ×2 speed, and you can only tell here, but before you could not tell. And I was really focused in some areas on like getting the color as smooth as possible, but then I realized here doing the little circles but not necessarily overlapping them too much gave it it gave it the perfect curl texture. And then my camera stopped recording, so I had already done that little bit, so I thought I'd give you a little close-up. Now I'm using mostly these blue and this green, and for that centerpiece on her bodice, I actually did the one end was the blue, the other end was the green, and then I colored the second one green, and then a little bit of blue, and then green again, and then the last little like petally piece, it was blue and then green and then blue again. So it gave it this nice little gradient, and it was perfect. And I had decided in my little color swatching stuff that it would be this gradient as well. Because I didn't show you the whole color swatching because it was kind of a nightmare. It looked garbage, and like it took me a long time to figure it out, and I was like, no, you don't need to see every little bit of it, and then it's a little bit of more of a surprise. But I was loving this. I was a little afraid that it would be too much blue and green, but then I remember January was pretty much exclusively blue and yellow, so I was like, you know what? If January can be blue and yellow, March can be blue and green. And if you want to see those videos, they are on my channel. I am very proud of them. I'm not sure which one I like better. I have favorite bits of all three of them because I have January, February, March done. I'm going in order. And it just so happens it's lining up a little bit with the months because by the time the next video comes out, it'll be April, and it'll be April. So I promise it will not take me all year to do this. And I'm really hoping that's a promise I can keep, because so far it seems that any kind of challenging thing I start always takes me like into the next calendar year. And I always kind of hate that because it's like, I don't know, because I do categorize my art by year when I'm like storing it, and then it's like I want to keep the groupings together, but if they span different years, I just I put them in whatever one I did the most in, and that's what it is. But anyway, long story short, because I am getting distracted, long story short, if you want to watch me do those ones, they are on my channel, and they are probably, these three drawings are probably some of the favorite things I've done in a long time. I'm very proud of them, especially February, not gonna lie. Her face is pretty magnificent. I like it a lot. So go check that out. And I am just realizing I'm talking very quietly, or at least just then. So hopefully the recording doesn't sound garbage. But anyway, I digress. Back to the drawing, to the artwork. Here I am coloring in the little bitty bits. These were not as like fleshed out how I was gonna color them, so I was kind of winging it. And not gonna lie, for winging it turned out pretty damn good. I had a few different blues and greens like set out. I had like a lighter green, a darker green, and then 3 shades of blue. The base part where the blending with the green, that is the lightest blue. This is like the mid-tone blue, and then I do sporadically use that darker blue in here as well. And at first I was like, ooh, is that weird because I'm not using it that much, like only for the details? But no, it actually was like the perfect amount of different while also being like monochromy enough to be the same. So it, like I said, this piece blew me away. I love it very much so. And don't ask me how the petals work on the backside. How I was kind of envisioning it is, you can't see that it's like front and back look kind of the same of the dress with the petally things. And then down the sides, there would be little petals as well, but underneath the ones around the front and the back, you know? I don't know. Because I was like, oof, this dress maybe doesn't actually work in reality, but you know what? It would be fine. Or maybe this is only like this in the front and the side kind of thing, and then the back has like a train or something, or it's only them on the top and then like a train of green fabric. Who knows? But there's that little bit of a darker blue. And then I was using the mid-tone blue again, and I wanted it to kind of break up this green here on the border, but I didn't want to add too much of it. So then I actually blended out with a even lighter blue than my light blue, which is practically white. So to like just, I don't show that whole clip because it's boring, just me scrubbing that out, but just to like, yeah, blend it out, and then it's not paper white, you know. And I'm just coloring in the little bitty bits of details in her little fairy shoes, because of course, if I was taking inspiration from fairies, then she had to have fairy shoes. And I'm using that dark blue again because I just was like, I hadn't been using it that much, so I just wanted to make sure that I was using it enough that it looked like part of the piece. And now I'm coloring the pretty little pearls in her hair. The kind of intention was for them to mostly be white, but I did kind of like using the blue there as well. And then it kind of made them pop more and they were a little less boring. So, and she's got these kind of teardrop earrings because I was just thinking about like dew on grass a little bit. I don't know. I'm feeling spring. I'm ready for spring. I'm sick and tired of winter. It was snowing here the other day, and I know, it snows in March. It can snow in April too, but I'm really sick of it. I even normally like winter. I'm usually an advocate for it. I'm usually like, hey, we all love summer and spring, but it gets hot, so enjoy the winter when it's beautiful and stuff. I hate it. I hate it this year. Anyway, so I did know that these panels were just too expansive. They needed more. And so I was like, why not lean into the petal thing a little bit more and just add these little like kind of line textures of like veins and flowers. So I found the perfect blue and then the perfect green to add these beautiful little lined textures. And I just love, like, it's like that perfect little sprinkle of something, I want to say almost like sprinkles on ice cream, or like my aunt makes candies and she'll make like caramels and she'll put like a little sea salt on them. It's like perfect. It's beautiful. The caramel was good without it, but it is better with it, you know? Anyway, and then I moved back into the skin. I love finishing the skin with colored pencil. I was using this kind of reddish brown color to like bring out her lips a bit more and her blush, because I don't have very many reds or pinks that fit well over top of brown skin for like blush. They're either too light and they push away the color, or they're too dark and they just drown it. So doing that with colored pencil helps keep the color of the skin like intact even when I'm adding blush. And then I'm taking my very favorite colored pencil in lilac and I'm adding some shading. I love this color because sometimes it kind of lightens it up a little bit almost, but like the purple just feels shadowy. And then this is me realizing as I'm adding shadows everywhere that I never did shade anything with a marker. And so then I grab this color, it's called Prune, and it's just like a light lavendery purpley, and I add in some more shadows in marker because I was not about to colored pencil all of it, because you have to be careful, or at least I do, because maybe I'm trash with it. But if I'm not perfectly careful or light enough with the colored pencil, then you'll just see lines over the marker, because markers all blend together and the colored pencils is on top of it. But anyway, and then I was adding a little bit more texture with the colored pencil in her hair. My tips were too sharp though, so I keep like blowing it off then, and it was frustrating, but it was okay. I used that dark reddish brown and then also this light color a little bit. It's called, oh damn, I just had it, but I bought it like separately because I did not have it with all my other markers, all my other pencils, and I love it. It's beautiful, my favorite. Now with the eyes, I heard one time somewhere that when people design black characters, sometimes they fall into this trope of like magical black girl kind of thing, and they give her like weird colored hair, weird colored eyes to like kind of almost distract from the fact that she's black. And I have tried my best to, like, I don't want to fall into that trap, but like kind of a signature thing that I had been doing for this series was like almost unsettling colored eyes. Like February had yellow eyes, and like it matched the color scheme, but it was like just a touch unsettling. And so I was like, ugh, I was planning on doing brown, but then I did think that like because her skin and her hair were so similar in tone, and coupled with the fact that I wanted to do unsettling eyes, I gave her blue and green eyes. They're blue irises, green pupils, and it looks great up close. And then I used my Jelly Roll white gel pen to add in some details, recolored some pearls so that way they're white again, added some highlights, and also some sparkles, and it looks so great. I do a close-up in just a second. If you like this, feel free to actually like it, and then comment, tell me how much you like it. Subscribe if you like listening to me talk, or you like my artwork. And if you want to see this anywhere else, feel free to check out any of my links below this video. It lists out my supplies and all my other socials, where you can find me, where you can find my shop, because I have an Etsy shop and I sell stickers and sticker sheets and planner pages. So if you find that interesting, go ahead and check that out. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye.